From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, you may begin to smell the aroma in your house, maybe some pre-Thanksgiving baking or cooking going on in your house. It's kind of got that nice Thanksgiving feel if you're hosting at your home. Welcome to Weather NorCal. If this is the first time, be sure to check it out, weathernorcal.com. You know, we've got some beautiful weather in store for us. Now, there is a little bit of some wind that we can expect as we go into the valley here, but overall, it's going to be a dry and mild Thanksgiving day. As I mentioned, some gusty north winds for the valley. That'll be the case here for Thanksgiving Day, and it could even last into the weekend. But our next chance for rain most likely is going to hold off until the end of next week. And I'm beginning to see signs around Thursday or Friday of next week, which we'll see that here in a second. So you can see all this activity kind of moving in our direction, very weak. Didn't really bring much in the way of rain, and I don't expect it to either. You can see as we go into about 10 o'clock tonight, we're seeing a lot of activity here off in Modoc County and to Lassen County. I mean, we may see a scattered sprinkle here and there for everyone as we go through the evening, but overall, this is not a very impressive system. The clouds should start to move out as we go into your Thanksgiving, and we're looking at dry conditions for your Thursday morning. We take you through Thursday afternoon. It's dry, mostly sunny skies. And then, of course, we'll just extend all the way into Friday as well. Looks like sunny skies will be the case here for your Friday, and not to mention through most of the weekend as well. But as I mentioned, those winds will be picking up, in particular for the valley. So let's take you into the Thursday around noon. There are those gusty winds. Now, it's mainly the north and west side of the valley. See how on the west of I-5, you're seeing those really gusty winds here. They're not as bad as you head off to the east, but still gusty winds nonetheless will be the case here for your Thanksgiving Day in the valley. That'll continue as we go into Thursday night, early Friday morning. Notice the winds not as bad for the mountains, although there you can see Shasta Valley, that is, in central Siskiyou County, some gusty winds there, and also in the foothills east of the valley, seeing some gusty winds as well. How about your Friday? Well, yeah, still a little windy, although not as bad as we're going to see on Thanksgiving Day. So yes, still breezy, borderline windy on Friday, but we're beginning to see those winds begin to subside. But that may even last into Saturday, by the way. So just be aware of the fact that if you do have those Christmas decorations out, you may need to make sure they're properly anchored. It's going to be dry through most of next week, but I'm expecting that as early as Thursday or Friday of next week, we're beginning to see some changes in the overall pattern. This particular forecast model is kind of going back and forth on the timing, but the European forecast model has been fairly consistent with bringing in the potential for some rain as early as next Thursday and that next Friday. And I think that was certainly going to be the potential here as we get toward the end of next week. So until then, should remain dry, though, as we look at our extended outlook. All right, so, you know, we've got turkey trots, we've got run for food, we've got all kinds of running events for those Thanksgiving mornings. So what can we expect across the region? Well, because of the gusty winds in the valley, those temperatures are going to be, for the most part, fairly mild, right? However, when you have a dry north wind blowing early in the morning, it can certainly make it feel cooler outside than it actually is. So make sure you've got something warm to wear, but of course you're going to need the layers once you start running. In Siskiyou and Modoc County, obviously much cooler, temperatures in the mid-30s there. In the eastern mountains, temperatures in the upper 30s in the morning. How about the coast? I know they've got some runs there as well. Of course, you'll be looking, those temperatures are going to be in the low 40s, that is here. Inland upper 30s, and for Trinity County, it is cold. You got temperatures dropping down around 31 degrees. So cold start to the day for many of us. Now, if you are traveling on Thanksgiving Day, it's going to be cold but dry. Okay, so make sure that you have something warm to wear if you are traveling northward. And of course, for your Friday, still pretty cold. Look at that big pocket of cold air to the north and east. That's going to be pretty cold off to our east here, but you can see not as bad here from Northern California. As we take you southward for your Thanksgiving Day, there you can see still some very mild temperatures for Southern California in the upper 70s. It's going to cool off a little bit for your Friday, but still not that bad. About 70 in Palm Springs. It looks like San Diego about 65 degrees. Okay, so let's take a look at our wave heights. And yeah, it looks like for your Thanksgiving Day, they're up to around 13 to 14 feet. So not a good idea to be on those small boats. There you can see your marine forecast for your Thanksgiving Day. North winds 20 to 30 knots. There you can see those waves from the north at 11 feet at 10 seconds and from the northwest at 5 feet at 12 seconds. Now, there are no advisories for at least right on the coast, but well, you start heading out to sea and yeah, you've got those small craft advisories out there. All right, here's what it looks like here for tonight. Those temperatures are going to be in the 40s, but again, for the valley here, but pretty chilly any way you look at it. But for your Thursday afternoon, for Thanksgiving Day, not bad. Temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 60s, but as I mentioned, you've got those gusty winds for the valley through the day on Thursday. Take you out to the north and east, 40s and 50s. So a chilly day out towards Modoc County and not to mention Lassen County as well. Trinity County, your temperature is low 60s. There you can see those low to mid 60s here for Trinity County and out along, for the inland areas and out along the coast, those temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. So look at your 7-day outlook. It's going to cool off a little bit here, especially as we do go into next week, but you'll notice it's at least dry through Wednesday. But as I mentioned, by the end of next week, we'll be talking about the potential for some wet weather out there. Thanksgiving Day, the breezy conditions, borderline windy as we take you into the valley here. And we may keep those winds sticking around here for Friday and Saturday as well, before we do start to see those winds maybe die down by the end of the weekend and beginning of next week. Here's a look at your 7-day outlook for the North Coast. And there you, of course, see dry conditions and mild too for your Thanksgiving Day. And looks at those temperatures mid to upper 50s for the coast the next 7 days. For the inland areas, basically in the low 60s. And looks like mid to upper 50s for Trinity County.